The Notre Dame Fighting Irish continue its season as they are set to take on the Penn State Nittany Lions in the college football playoff semifinal at the Capital One Orange Bowl. Can the Irish stop a similar looking Nittany Lions squad and punch their ticket to the national title?
By Samarza, inside the 20, inside the 10, he's going in! Notre Dame has scored!
Go, 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 go!
You will be that driving force to motivate those coaches and those players to beat Southern Cal.
Notre Dame is relevant again.
The 20, the 10, five rocket touchdown.
Notre Dame is number one.
It's a game of who's going to flinch first. We know that it won't be Notre Dame.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Landon Traylor with John Richards and Logan Traylor. Well, the stage is set. Notre Dame will take on Penn State in the Orange Bowl to punch their ticket to the national championship game.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. It sure is going to be interesting, just like the start of the show already.
Yeah.
I know we ticked a lot of Georgia fans off with some of our takes, and we proved to be right. We're getting off to a strong start with Happy Valley, Beaver Valley, whatever valley they're in, Tickle Me Valley. Keep me away from there. Again, I'll keep driving by that exit.
Yeah. Shower Valley, if you will. Logan, into the game, coming off of a physical game, how do you prepare not only for another physical team, they look kind of like us, but also on a short week? How do you prepare for that?
Think your message remains consistent to what it's been this whole year. In terms of preparation, it's got to be consistent. You have to be able to stay true to who you are and what has gotten you to this point. And, obviously you're not in the best situation with a short week. And, they played Boise State. We had to play Georgia, but neither was losing to Northern Illinois. So, that was hard. So what they're going to have to do and what they have to accomplish is challenging within itself. So, the key is just staying true to who you guys are, to what has gotten you to this point. And I think that's what, Freeman has and is going to continue to preach throughout the week is, these guys are elite. These guys could very well win a championship. And there's one game, blocking that goal, and that's this game. So I think no matter what, we could play this game anywhere in the country. We could play this game tomorrow. Our guys would be ready to go.
Interesting. Penn State has been similar to Notre Dame in the, quote, big game. They are eerily similar. They have, an advantage. They play in a conference, if you will. So they play about 2 big games a year, and they have not won the big game in a very long time up until this year. So eerily similar to the Fighting Irish. They are full of history and legends as well. We'll get back to the history in a moment, but let's take a look at how Penn State got here. This is not a typical James Franklin Penn State team. They average 35 points per game with 234 pass yards and 202 rush yards per game. And they are only allowing, now this is a fantastic defense. Listen to this. They are allowing 16 points per game, allowing 179 pass yards per game, and allowing just 67 rush yards per game. They only allowed one team to rush for over 100 yards on them, and that was the best running back in the country the previous week in Ashton Genty. Logan, Tom Allen's defense is among the nation's best this season.
Yeah, it's going to be another matchup to whose defense is better, in my opinion. It's going to be the winner of this game it's very similar to the Georgia game of where all 3 phases are so important. And right now we've proved that our special teams is elite. And whether that's, kicking field goals right now, whether that's, having different schemes to fake punts, fake field goals. So I feel confident in that. Offensively, it's been the same thing like I've preached all year, and I think we've talked about it all year, is we got to get the ball to our playmakers. And that's where we can't make it easy on this defense that's already really good. So, you know, anticipate a low scoring game. That's how I'm feeling right now, but you never know. A team that, like you said, Franklin team that averages 35 points a game, that's pretty substantial for him and for what they try to do schematically. So it'll be interesting.
I love their quarterback and I love their running back. They're a fantastic offense. In the college football playoff, they have forced 7 turnovers in the college football playoff. 2 games, they forced 7 turnovers, 6 interceptions, and a fumble. Now, in the college football playoff, they've only turned the ball over twice, an interception and a fumble. One fumble against SMU and an interception against the Broncos of Boise State. On the season, the Nittany Lions have 9 interceptions along with 5 fumbles. So this team does not turn the ball over quite often. And quite frankly, JR, neither do we. So it could be a very disciplined, very smart game, if you will, offensively.
Yeah, that's what the numbers say. You never know how it's going to
Right.
play, but certainly that's their recipe for success. Anytime you have a +5 turnover margin in 2 games, you're going to have and you're going to be in a good position to win a football game. They also have they have a quarterback now this year that's very, very good. He's a pro prospect, and as much as we made fun of him, they got Coach TA over there. They got Tom Allen, so he's a very competent, good. Yeah, he's a great defensive coordinator. You've seen that play out all year long with their defense. Just look at their numbers. Their tight end is, that's the matchup you're going to want to watch is Watts on their tight end and see how we defend them, how Golden schemes that one up. But yeah, they're both teams are going to, let's see who flinches first. It was interesting in that Georgia game. They ran a reverse really early, and I immediately thought to myself, that's kind of an odd play for Georgia that early in a game, and that was kind of a Lou Holtz staple. Who flinches first? Let's see who flinches first in this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
You would think that would be a Franklin team, right?
Yes. Historically and statistically, yes. Drew Aller on the year it has 3,192 pass yards along with 24 touchdowns, 285 rush yards and 6 rushing touchdowns for the young quarterback. Katron Allen, has 1,026 rushing yards along with 8 TDs. And then Nick Singleton, 1,015 rushing yards with 9 touchdowns. So they have a two-headed monster in their own backfield. So do we. Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price. You could throw Aeneas Williams on third down to there as well. We also have a better rushing quarterback. I don't know a better passing quarterback. I might take Drew Aller, but nonetheless, and as JR alluded to, their tight end, the best in the country, Tyler Warren, 1,158 receiving yards with 8 touchdowns. You'll see him take direct snaps this game. You'll see him throw out blocks downfield. It's incredible. This dude is something special. And then Jalen Reed on the defensive side of the ball for Penn State with 92 tackles and 3 interceptions. And the offensive line allowing just 19 sacks through their 15 games. So let's take a look at their journey here to the college football playoff semifinal. They defeated West Virginia in the opening week, 34-12 in Morgantown. All my thoughts on West Virginia. Then they would go on to take on Bowling Green. They struggled, but they did something we could not. They beat a MAC team when it got close, 34-27 against Bowling Green at home. They would then dominate Kent State, can't read, can't write, 56-0, before starting conference play with a 21-7 victory at home against Illinois, and then defeating UCLA at home as well, 27-11. Then they would travel out west to the Coliseum, where they would defeat USC in overtime, 33-30. And they would travel on the road and continue their winning streak with a 28-13 win in Madison over Wisconsin. They would then fall 20-13 against the Ohio State University in Happy Valley before throttling Washington 35-6 and dominating Purdue on the road 49-10, as well as they would then travel to Minneapolis in a game where I thought Penn State could be eliminated. They should have been eliminated against the Gophers if the play calling was a little bit better there for Minnesota. They would edge out a 26-25 win over the Golden Gophers on the road before dominating Maryland in the last game of the regular season, 44-7, and then hung in there with a Oregon team who just got throttled 45-37 in the Big Ten championship game as they lost by 8 points to the Ducks. Schedule be damned, as I mentioned, it's a damn good team. The series, the all-time series in the Notre Dame Penn State rivalry, it used to be every year or something like that. It is 9-9 with one tie. The most famous game came in 1992. The Irish were down. It started snowing like crazy, and Notre Dame came back to win 17-16 in the famous game called the Snow Bowl. JR, were you at that game?
I was at that game sitting just above the tunnel, right on the aisle.
Talk to us about that atmosphere and that game that you experienced there in 92.
It was awesome. I was with one of my closest friends and a huge Notre Dame friend and graduate, Chris Heltzel. I was there with his family. He had a broken leg, and he was in cast, and we were wheeling him around campus, and it was colder than a witch's you-know-what in the middle of January. We found our way up into the seats. It was snowing off and on all day. They were taping some of the scenes for Rudy in that game. If you saw the movie Rudy, obviously, some of those scenes against Georgia Tech, I think that the scene where they carried Rudy off was filmed at halftime. I'm not entirely sure of the details on that, but the game itself, slugfest, freezing cold, last minute, you saw it all. Meyer to Bettis, Meyer to Brooks, Joe Pa, Lou. What a game. We rushed the field after. I remember being on the field, like hobbling around my buddy. And just what a college football game. One that obviously lives loudly and proudly in Irish lore.
Absolutely. What a game. What an atmosphere. I can only imagine. The last time these two teams met was in 2007 in Happy Valley, and Penn State rolled the Irish 31-10. Now, the last two times Notre Dame has played in Miami, whether it be Hard Rock Stadium or Sun Life Stadium. In 2017 of the regular season against the Miami Hurricanes, a 41-8 loss. And then, of course, in the 2013 BCS National Championship, a 42-14 loss against the Alabama Crimson Tide. That is an 83-22 point differential there. JR, keys to the game in the Orange Bowl.
Well, the first key is not catching the South Beach flu. If anybody knows what the South Beach flu is, Miami can be a very eye-catching kind of a place, and we need our guys to go down there in a very business-like manner. Stay off the streets and out of the clubs. Keep your nose in the playbook and be prepared to play. Secondly, I'll go back to who's going to flinch first. And I don't want to necessarily say that, some of our play calling in our special teams department is flinching, because we've certainly made that a bona fide part of our weekly game planning. So I think that'll be an interesting one. And again, my key last week was just Riley Leonard win us that game. And I could argue that he did. Who's going to be the better quarterback? Is it going to be Riley Leonard, or is it going to be Drew Aller? Because I'm pretty sure we got the better coach. I don't have to worry about that. Mm-hmm. South Beach flu. Don't flinch. Riley Leonard, this is why we got you, buddy. Let's go. Those are my three.
This is why you came to Notre Dame. Logan, 3 keys to the ball game.
I want the South Beach flu. I'm looking out the window.
South Beach flu is phenomenal.
Freeze out. The first one, I think, in a big game like this, the first priority is taking care of the football. And, we got to win that turnover battle. And I think that we're going to have some opportunities to turn over a Penn State offense that is pretty disciplined within itself. So if we're able to win the turnover battle, I like to say we're going to win this game. Secondly, in our passing game, I liked what we did with Faison and getting him involved against Georgia. I would like to see Mitchell get the same sort of looks or opportunities, if you will, that Jordan's getting, and just getting him involved, getting another tight end involved in the passing game. Losing Cooper Flanagan really doesn't hurt us in the pass game, hurts us more in the run game. He's our best run block tight end that we have. So it'll be interesting to see what Denbrock does there. But then, the third one is just make plays. You got to make plays in big moments. And I think that we've had to do that a lot throughout the year, especially last week. So if we have an opportunity, we got to maximize on it and take advantage of it and, make plays when it matters most.
Absolutely agree with you there. My keys to the game, no stupid penalties. We had a lot of them against Georgia. I think these will, if we have stupid penalties, they'll cost us a lot more. Play with the violence. Play with that same violence and vengeance attitude that you did against Georgia last week, because we got them rattled. You could tell they did not like our physicality on the defensive side of the ball. Play with that same violence. And lastly, no turnovers. We've only turned the ball over once in this whole thing. Let's keep that ride of momentum going. And it was on a tip pass, mind you. So he's been pretty accurate. No fumbles, no stupid stuff there. With that being said, the college football playoff semifinals. We're here. We're in it. Let's go. The college football playoff semifinal at the Cotton Bowl, Texas and Ohio State. Friday night, 7:30 p.m. on ESPN.
We're jumping right in.
Mm-hmm.
Zero State and Steers and Queers. Let's go. What a matchup. I think this line is what, Coach? You got 6 over there?
Let me look.
6. It's got to be about a touchdown, I would think.
Line. Read this back to me.
It is. If it would load. 5.5.
Oh, okay, so it's come down. I said it at the beginning of the playoffs. If you were going to get Ohio State, you needed to get them out early. That obviously didn't happen.
Right.
And everybody thinks Ohio State is clearly the best team. I'm going to tell you something about Texas. They probably have as many athletes and pro prospects arguably as Ohio State. So talent for talent, skill for skill, player for player, I would argue that Texas could be on par with Ohio State. Normally, I'm not a big Sark guy. You guys know that. I think Sark is one of the more mediocre coaches. But in a game where they're an underdog, in a spot, talk about the spot all the time, in a spot like this, I think the edge is going to go to Sark. And if Texas wins this game, it's going to be a large part because of the job that he does. I'm going to pick Ohio State in this game. But like I said with Arizona State, I knew that was going to be a better game than everybody thought. Keep an eye on Texas. I think this is going to be a better game than most people believe as well. A lot of points here, I think. You're probably going to want to take the over. But I'll take Zero State over the Steers and Queers.
Yeah. Go ahead, Logan.
I'm going to take Ohio State by 14.
Yeah, I think Ohio State rolls here. I like the Buckeyes big. The college football playoff semifinal at the Orange Bowl. Notre Dame and Penn State. Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. on ESPN.
Oh, boy.
So I had Notre Dame beating Georgia 23-20.
Yeah.
I was pretty close on that path. I think this is going to be a very similar kind of a game. I think you're going to see two teams who play things fairly conservative and close to the vest early. You got to feel each other out, so to speak, in this game. To tickle me, Sandusky, nod to you there. But I like Notre Dame in this game. I'm going to pick them 20-16.
Ooh. Sorry, he took my score.
Oh, I had no idea. Listen, I think Notre Dame has a chance to do something really special, that they have a different kind of a look to them than most Notre Dame teams. You know,
and I just want Ohio State.
a magical year, boys.
Uh-huh. All right. Rig it. So we're going to go Notre Dame 23. We're going to go Penn State 9. I don't think Penn State gets a touchdown. I'm on the same wavelength over there as our buddy JR in terms of there's a different aura around not only this team, but this coaching staff, this fan base. So, that obviously doesn't win you a game, but it puts you in a better position. And I think that we get it done and we get our little nice 2-game revenge with our buddy Coach Day and company. Couple weeks.
Be careful what you wish for there. I like Notre Dame in the semifinal over Penn State 27-24. 27-24. Mitchell Jeter at the last second gets a walk-off field goal. What
Oh my God.
For that kid. What a story for that kid.
No.
It's poetic. I think it's going to be close all the way through. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be very close. We're going to need some Notre Dame magic to win this game, and I think we get it.
Anything from Dylan?
He's basically irrelevant now. Unfortunately, it's just panned out. All right. We are back next Monday, regardless of the outcome, to recap the Penn State ball game and the other ball game about miles to the west of us. So we are back Monday. Thank you for tuning in. Go ahead and like and subscribe. Here we go, boys. We're in it. We're here. 2 days away. Go Irish.